Hi, Saggy. This is your March astrology reading for all Sagittarius signs. Um, all right, you guys have a lot of inner emotional communication going on. And that does have to do with the fact we're coming out of Mercury retrograde and we're in shadow. And then it doesn't. Because communication has been in retrograde and then it's going to go through shadow through, a good portion of the month. And you're going to be seeing that. But more importantly, your second house is still Capricorn. And your third house is Aquarius. And what I mean by that is with so much attention and energy flowing through your first, second, and third house, actually, first, second, third, fourth, fifth house, you have so much inner emotional personal identification. I don't want to say issues, but you're coming into a new identification of your identification. You're dealing with ego and extroverted energy. You're dealing with realization of what you will sow. And then the idea of understanding that you have free will to will it as so. You're definitely in more private and personal areas of your subconscious becoming conscious. It's like a destruction of a part of you that you once knew. Coming into completion, coming into a new foundation, a new root. Yeah, a new beginning and a new level of me or me time or what me is about. It's kind of like an egg, like the idea of you was this egg, but now you've realized if you cracked it open, all this gooey stuff that's inside, and you're seeing the inside, you're having a communication with that. You're getting to overcome parts of your own self-deception by learning hidden parts of yourself through your communication, through what affection you put out. Allowing your sensitivities to really be tweaked. And that's definitely dealing with some, well, that's the same pretty much with everybody. Sacral chakra, solar plexus, and heart chakra. You're under development in a form. And that really is a good thing. You're getting to the deeper truths. However, it may be coming through areas of denial, grief, sorrow, shame, blame, where you've pointed fingers at others and found out that that's actually a mirror that you should be pointing at yourself. Seeing details about yourself and the world. I don't want to say the world you live in, but it's the way I always put it, the way we create our own reality. So you're seeing details within the reality that you created and where you're tweaking it for higher self-value, self-worth, self-esteem. You're learning to really come into what value is about to you and what value means to you. Spiritually, soulfully, psychically, emotionally, as well as materialistically, but at the same time of a value of like other people. How much do you value other people and why? As well as what makes you value them. This has to do with judgment, self-judgment, as well as judgment from others, but I feel like this is more of a self-judgment, self-communication time for you. Illuminating it for you. And that you need to give yourself special love, but at the same time, there's issues about that security within insecurities, and I'm finding that everywhere right now. We've found security within the insecurities, but the insecurities aren't really helping us, because that's why they're called insecurities. But we've casted them out into, like those skeletons in the closet. You put them away so nobody knows about them. Or you don't shift and change your rules, your walls, your boundaries, because you've become secure with them. So it's a level of, are you growing? Or are you comfortable with what was lacking? Because you've talked yourself into believing that insecurity was acceptable. But I'm getting a lot of solar plexus. A lot of solar plexus is shifting or coming into a new unblocking of energy as you're working through this. Now, you have, on the 4th, you have Venus moving into Taurus. Mercury is actually moving still in retrograde back into Aquarius. You have the full moon on the 9th in Virgo. That's also the same day that Mercury is going to go direct. Now, I would say the 4th is probably going to be a very sensitive day because of Venus and Mercury both moving. But with the full moon on the 9th, and then coming into Virgo, coming up to that energy, that whole week may be very sensitive. On the 16th, while Mercury is now direct, however, it will be in shadow, it will be moving back into Pisces. You have the Sun entering Aries on the 19th. The 21st, Saturn enters Aquarius for a very short time before it retrogrades back into Capricorn. The 24th, you have the new moon in Aries. And then you have on the 30th, Mars goes into Aquarius. So I'm just giving you a rundown of the main idea of what's moving. Now, we just discussed a lot of your second house. And that's because your first house really doesn't have anything in it. I mean, the moon's going to travel through it. But outside of that, you don't have any planets here influencing that self-identification, self-awareness, personality and character, view of life, core itself. But what is hitting in the core is right underneath of that. Like I said, it's kind of like in your more private areas is what we're looking at for the month. And you have Mars traveling through Capricorn, which is your second house. Saturn's going to be there up until the 21st. You have Pluto here, Jupiter, Mars, and Pallas, like I said. And this is your self-worth, your self-value, your self-esteem, but you also have the South Node here. The South Node is about to move out and move into your first house. Which means if the messages the South Node has been trying to get through your head about, and I put it this way because it's going to be of one of two levels. The South Node is saying typically what you've gotten very good at, but it doesn't serve you. So either you're high on your horse of self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, which could be a little bit too cocky, and you need to be knocked down just a little bit because you need to see those insecurities so that they can be healed. So you truly are in that power of self-worth, self-value, and self-esteem. Because the South Node tells us what we've got good at, but it's not good for us anymore. Or it's just flat out picking on where you're not shape-shifting because you're in your insecurities. It's one of two. Because for you, that's the foundation that creates your exterior world of that self-worth, self-value, self-esteem. And this is a shape-shifting time. This also talks to you about the law of attraction and how you feel about yourself. So if you feel like the facade you put out is good, but deep down underneath you're not feeling good about yourself, even though you give that idea that you do, well, your law of attraction's manifestation is going to bring you more reasons to feel that way. If you're full on in your insecurity, it's going to also bring you more to be insecure about. But this is about coming into overcoming those insecurities so that you truly are strengthening in the power of that self-worth, self-value, self-esteem. Which Capricorn is all about the building blocks to strengthen that for lifetimes. It is all about the foundation. And where does the foundation have cracks so that we can fill it? Just like if you're building a house and you put a house, on the ground and the foundation isn't good, the house sinks into the ground. Well, and then you have to fill the foundation for the house to lift back up. This is what you're doing right now. You're filling the cracks in the foundation of your self-worth, self-value, and self-esteem. Overcoming the insecurities that keep you from truly being you. But what you're not addressing when that South Node moves into your first house, it's going to definitely start bringing attention to it in the next year. So the more you get ahead of the game right now, the more that South Node is actually working for you instead of, when I do astrology, I always say, retrogrades is you're working backwards. And it means that you have to overcome the retrograde before you can learn how to make it work for you. Well, the South Node is forever a retrograde in a form. It's telling you what isn't serving you. And once you learn how to make what isn't serving you serve you, you flipped the retrograde over and then you made it more healthy. This is those cracks that we're sinking into. We're lifting the foundation of that self-worth, self-value, self-esteem. And the further you are ahead of the game, when it moves into your first house, the less it has to clean up. Long story short. This is helping you address your true soulfulness, your true depth, your true identification, the parts of you that you doubt that the world is going to accept, the parts of you that you don't accept about you. And you're really seeing that, especially right now. Mars coming through that second house is telling you it needs the passion, action, and aggression. It needs action. It wants you to take action in that energy. And the more more action you put into that energy, the more the manifestation and the positive that's going to come to you, because that second house is also your possessions and your money house. So when you're standing in that power, that fire, without doubt and guilt, but you claim it, then you manifest it. When you still have doubt and guilt and questions about yourself, you can't claim that. Pluto is asking you to let go of what doesn't serve you again. of that death, decay, and destruction for renewal, rebirth, regeneration, reincarnation of the self by truly igniting the self. As you come into your third house, you have communication here. The third house is Aquarius. You're very abrupt, very bold, and very blunt, and say the shock and awe things. The rebellion comes out in your communication. But at the same time, we say the jokes, but there's always a little bit of truth in everything. Your communication right now is still ruled by Mercury, even though it has nothing to do with Mercury. But for a hot little minute. Like I said, Mercury moved in retrograde on the 4th to Aquarius. It's going to go direct on the 9th on the full moon in Aquarius, and it's going to take up until the 16th to get out of Aquarius. So technically, it's still in that communication house. And then it's going to be shadow as it moves back into the 4th house. So this is the communication you have with the outer world, the mirroring that's telling you what are you not seeing but you should be seeing. So you're noticing it on other people but not necessarily on yourself until the mirror shows itself to you. It's also the communication of how are you communicating to yourself, and are you looking at some of those darker aspects of your communication as it goes from Aquarius to Pisces, out of retrograde and into shadow as it moves into that inner emotional security, the root of who and what you are, which is where the fire is. Either you're putting flames, you're putting more wood on the fire to fill the flames, or it's starting to turn into just embers that are withering away. That's the inner emotional security, the true personal foundation from the home. The home has a lot to do with it, but this is the home. This is the home. This is the true self. This is the vessel. And all the roots are still carried in this. This is just a material idea of the home. So it is inside and out. It's also where the inner child either lost its inner emotional security because of things that happened as a child, and you're tapping into that foundation, the roots, and you're healing it by bringing back those insecurities, by seeing what needs to shift to rebuild or back build the fire on the self-worth, self-value, and self-esteem. This is going to have a lot to do with your inner communication with yourself, and are you overcoming that insecurities? You're back building your fire. You're back building your truth, your depth. And you also have, near the end of the month, that inner emotional security is going to be illuminated. Is the karmic lesson and the reincarnation being made, or is something happening that's making you throw yourself right back into those insecurities? Because the sun is going to jump right over Neptune around the 16th. Actually, I would say from the 8th through the 12th, you'll be feeling that. And Neptune will illuminate that inner emotional security and that communication. As to if you're coming into it or not, or if you're rekindling the insecurities. And how do you communicate with yourself about that? Neptune creates magic, so it only can manifest what you feed it. And that has to do with what you say to yourself, how you communicate with yourself. But Mercury's also going to be in shadow. So it's looking at some of your darker aspects to help you learn where you need to rekindle the fire. You have Your fifth house is your creativity. Now, there's some major power going on here. Major healing, too. Fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th, and 11th. What? Yeah. Your fifth house is dealing with your 11th house. So, this is your inner creativity, your inner self expression, your inner child being able to be the child, play, explore, express itself through music, through hobbies, through art, love, sex. It's where enjoyment is, pleasure is. And if you're having time for pleasure, because it's directly having a communication with the 11th house. The 11th house is targeting that fifth house. And the 11th house is your groups, your community, your friendships, your memberships. And do these people in these groups, friends, memberships, community, do they support your goals, dreams, and ambitions, which is that fifth house? Do they support it? And are they helping you have time to express yourself so that you can allow that fire that you're backbuilding to actually create, which then just strengthens everything about you? Because if you're finding fun and enjoying life and finding what you tick about, what makes you tick, what you want to do, what you enjoy, and you're taking time for judgment for yourself to be able to do that, then that outer community should be supporting those goals, dreams, and ambitions of the creative expression that's coming out of you. And if they're not, then they're the wrong community. They're the wrong groups and friends. The fifth house has Chiron here, with Lilith here, trying to backbuild that fire. Chiron is trying to find out where those insecurities are keeping you from believing in yourself to bring that creative expression out and let the world see the great creativity that can come out of you, the great self-expression that can come out of you. It's not living up to its full potential because Chiron is here. It's assessing a brand new beginning of, well, where is those insecurities and why, and how can we address that? Lilith is bringing the fire, bringing the me first attention to that Aries energy, asking you not to get started and then give up. Not to come up with a bright idea and then kind of get over it. This is asking you to follow through with it. The thing is you also have Eris here, which is Medusa, trouble, toil, strife. So there's something here that makes you doubt yourself. And the outer community, if it's the right community of people, is definitely supporting it and helping illuminate so you can feel that, you can grow, you can mature. But if it's the wrong ones, then it's taking all the time away from you and keeping you from being able to come into yourself because they only care about themselves. They should be supporting your self-realization. This is Libra. This is where justice is made for you. This is where harmony and balance is made for you. And is there harmony and balance? Plus you have the collective consciousness in that outer community. You have sacrificing commitment in the outer community right now. And you have the growth of the lotus flower. So that creative expression needs to be fulfilled. You need to, stick with it and bring that out and into the community. It is needed. But if it's not the right dreams, the right people, the right community, the right groups, the right friendships that help you support that, they're definitely going to be showing that they are the wrong fucking people for you. Because the higher consciousness is there, making you see it. This is why I said the mirroring is coming through. The collective consciousness is out there. The sacrifice and the commitment is out there. So are you able to bring those dreams, those goals, ambitions to life? Or is the community squashing them and not allowing you to? Because if it is, it's the wrong community. And you need to find a better tribe. Because instead of a tribe, you have a jail. Your 6th house is your daily routines. This is where your independence is. This is Uranus, independence, individuality, uniqueness, freedom, self-worth, self-value, self-esteem, backing up your daily routines, your health, your diet. Some people go to the gym every day and work on themselves. Some people, keep their diet like so every day and work on themselves. Some people work on their inner emotional security and their artistic perspectives every day. Some people go to the bar. What are your daily routines? Everybody should have a healthy daily routine, but those daily routines are not mundane. The people, places, and things of energy that you consume in your daily routines either help support you or help destroy you. So your service, your healthcare, your diet, your career, your working environment, your daily tasks, your ability to do them, people, places, things, energy that you consume. Are you able to express yourself, your own independence? Are you free to be able to do what you want within these routines? Are you being pushed up against the wall? Venus is definitely going to be traveling through here, bringing sensitivity to it, showing you where it works for you and where this shit is not working for you. Vista, the soul fire, is going to be here until the 21st. And if Vista's soul fire is not burning, she's going to be in your ass just like Venus is, telling you where you're not burning right. And where it's uncomfortable and why. But Vista is going to be moving into your relationship house come the 21st, and that is your partnerships, your relationships. And are you putting the fire into the relationships? As well as into your own part of the relationship. The fire of the relationship should be balanced. It shouldn't just be about you. I mean, you shouldn't be less, but you shouldn't be more important. Of any relationship, any partnership, any business contract, your family, your children, your parents, even your relationship with working environments. It also deals with divorce and separation. This is even your open enemies. Everything should be balanced. It shouldn't just be one taking everything. The fire shouldn't be on one. It should be balanced within it. And it's going to be addressing that mainly next month, but I'm bringing it up because it comes in on the 21st. Now, your 8th house is these relationships, and your North Node is here. And this is pretty much the last thing on here. The 8th house is saying the North Node, which is Rahu, is everything you need to learn in order to move forward. And Rahu only has a month and a half left before it moves into Gemini, also into your relationships. So this is saying if these rules, these walls, these boundaries of these relationships, these joint efforts, joint resources, joint finances of these relationships are not fair, just, and balanced, if the fire shouldn't be smoldering over there, but then losing into a wildfire over here. It should be balanced within these relationships. And if there isn't balance because it's all on you or it's all on them, then the relationships need to change, end, or shift. Change, shift, or end. Because if they're not fair and balanced and just, somebody's losing. You shouldn't be above, you shouldn't be below. Below, you should be equal and balanced. The fire should flow. I love you guys. Bye.